There's my audience.
Oh my god.
Just so everyone knows, I know we're supposed to have adults, like I am the adult in this scenario, so I've got an audience. All right. I bet we've all seen images like that before. Maybe on your social media. Maybe you've seen that in real life. You've been driving down the road and you see a cat or a dog. It doesn't have a home. It's hungry. It's sick. How did those pictures make you feel? Did they make you sad? Did they make you feel hopeless? Well, what if I told you that there is a way that we can solve this problem? There is. It's called spaying and neutering our animals. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this. According to the American Humane Society, currently in 2024 in America, there are over 70 million stray cats and dogs. So that's a huge number. How did we get to that high of a number? It's really simple. One unaltered female, one unaltered male. So dogs and cats have a relatively similar gestation rate, meaning how long it takes for them to grow a litter. It's about 65 days or 13 weeks, give or take a week or two. Animals go into heat twice a year. So on average, they have litters 2 times a year. So we're going to use cats as an example. One unaltered female cat in 1 year will have 12 kittens. By year 2, those kittens will be having offspring of their own. And now we're up to 67 cats. Let's fast forward to year 8. From that one original female cat, we have over 2 million offspring and descendants. That's such a wild number. 2 million, over 2 million in 8 years. And where do they go? Well, if they're not in the streets, people will try to take them to animal shelters. Animal shelters across America are one of the most overpopulated, crowded, and underfunded systems in America. According to the ASPCA, currently 6.3 million cats and dogs are in shelters. How many shelters are there in America? There's approximately 4,064. That's according to the Best Friends Animal Society statistics. 52% of those shelters are no-kill shelters, meaning 48% of those shelters euthanize animals. Any stray animal that goes into that shelter has an expiration date unless they're adopted. They will get euthanized. 1.5 million animals get euthanized on average every year in America. So that 4,064, that number, that breaks down to approximately 81 shelters per state. Seems like a lot. It's not. Every big city, they take up the majority of the shelters. For example, in Portland, Oregon, this year, there are currently 27 shelters just in Portland, Oregon. And I looked them all up. They are all completely at capacity. So when we don't have room for these animals, and these animals, these cats and dogs are in the streets, they come with a ton of medical problems. Here's a few of them. Feline leukemia, mange, rabies, distemper, parvo, a host of parasites, and canine influenza, to name a few. The really wild thing about all these is every one of these diseases is preventable with a vaccination or preventative medicine. Most of these strays live very short, sick lives. So, what is spaying and neutering? It's just sterilization of an animal. It's a fast surgery. It's considered one of the safest surgeries for an animal to have. For a female, it's called a spay. For a male, it's called a neuter. And they are either removing all reproductive parts, or they're just doing like the equivalent of a vasectomy, called an oophorectomy, and like a tubal ligation for the females. So once we can get those animals to not reproduce, this is like a fantastic thing, and it has almost a 100% success rate. To take your animal to the local vet, the cost to get them sterilized is about $150 to $300. One of the biggest reasons people don't pursue sterilization is due to the cost. However, the Humane Society and the ASPCA, they do a lot of programs for low income, or they'll just do spay and neuter for about $35 pop. And you can often get the vaccinations. Vaccinations run about $5 a piece, except for rabies, which is $20. There's another program called TNR. It's specifically for cats. It's called Trap, Neuter, Return. It can be considered a controversial program, but it's highly successful. What it does is they take stray and feral cats, they put out live traps, they take the animal, they take it to a vet, they check it over. If the animal has any sort of issue with it, they euthanize it. If it has anything like rabies or feline leukemia, they will sterilize the animal and then they return the cat to the area where it's from. You don't reduce the initial population. What you're doing is eliminating future populations. If you have someone that, when you see a cat and you think it possibly has come from the TNR program, look for a clipped ear. They all have clipped ears. Either a clip this way or they just clip the tip. This is a fantastic program. My mom lives in Portland, Oregon in a senior citizen trailer park, and they have a feral cat colonization. It's out of control. The Feral Cat Coalition, ran by Karen, she came in, she spent countless hours and days trapping all these cats, getting them to the vet, getting them back, and now the population has leveled out. And when I say colonization, I mean thousands of cats were in one trailer park. The cats lured in coyotes, and the coyotes were actually attacking the elderly. So because of spaying and neutering, they are able to decrease cat population, decrease the coyotes, and actually keep humans safe. In conclusion, spaying and neutering is the solution to homeless animal problem. If you would want to keep seeing this, then we just ignore the problem. If you see a stray animal, call animal control. Call your local TNR program. Don't ever try to catch an animal by yourself. It might bite you or harm you. Don't ever just take an animal and just drop it off at the local animal shelter, which is the information right here. And always remember, you can always go and volunteer at the animal shelter. They're always looking for volunteers. If we all work together and we sterilize